Hi, I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video we are talking to Libra. Hello Libras, how are you doing today? So the way this video is going to work is the first half is checking in with your energy and the story behind that, and the second half is checking in with you and another's energy and the story behind that. This is for my sun, moon, and rising. Whatever floats your boat, it's just about the message resonating. So let's get started with your energy. Ooh, this could go either way. Let's see. Ooh, this is I'll be honest with you, this could also relate to career oriented stuff. When it comes to general energy in this part of the half, anything can come through. And what I'm seeing here is potentially either career or like relationship. Either way, we'll get into specifics. So let's start off over here. And that's why I was wondering if it could go either way. And I know which way it's going to go. So I'm excited for you. So in the Nine of Pentacles, this might be a little difficult to hear, but it's this vibe of like, it could be codependency, like maybe you just feel like you're a little too hung up on somebody else, you just kind of need their attention or certain sense of validation, or you want to know like what are they doing because you don't trust yourself. And sometimes it can come from a place where you're like, why do they have that and I don't have that? I want what they have. I deserve it. And it's not coming from the best place. And it's a place I really feel for, because I think we've all been there at some point when we're trying to like figure our stuff out. It doesn't sound as catty as I was just doing a little impression of. It's more the sense of like, I'm confused, I'm frustrated. How does it feel like it's all around me and not happening for me or to me? And this could be love, career, whatever it is. It just feels like it's a sense of out of your reach and you're looking at other people in order to understand like, how can I get that essentially? But here's the good news. We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse over here. This is you understanding, oh wait, I realize where this is coming from now. I get it. Okay, I need to figure out whatever core issues are going on with me and fix them, because that's the problem. It's not what I have to offer. It's not who I am as a person. I am totally good enough, all that positive jazz. It's me. Let me focus on the core issue, fix it, open up, get a little more out there, be a little more okay with sharing with people, because by understanding that I see abundance within myself and with my connection with others, whether this be career-wise or love-wise, I now understand there's abundance everywhere with that sort of perspective. But I always jokingly laugh a little bit at this card because it has a bit of a sarcastic tone to it. This is somebody who is choosing to be more open, but they are like prying the door open. They're like, fine, like, fine, I'll be more open. So it's a great sign that you're moving away from this mindset. You're fixing the core issues, but do not beat yourself up if it's not a fluid, ethereal sort of vibe. This is great because sometimes when people hear that they're going to be growing and changing, if it doesn't feel perfect and they don't feel like the best version of themselves, again, coming from sort of it could potentially hold on to sort of a perfectionist mindset. I don't really get that vibe. I'm just going to, it's like, that's not the exact word I would choose to define it, but we'll just generalize here, okay? So with the, I looked up and I thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye. When you're coming from that mindset, it's not the easiest to open yourself up essentially, but we're making it happen. So here's the story behind that, which I love. So over here, you are thriving. You really figured out your belief systems, and this is how you're opening up. You're figured out your belief systems. This can refer to being like a master manifester. You're just more confident in what you have to offer, and you understand other people are going to get it. So you're no longer comparing yourself to others, or even, again, you might not have love at this exact time. You might not have all the money you want at this time, but you find out like, you know what I have to offer is enough. I'm going to make it happen. I can make it happen. I'm making it happen right at this moment. And then Knight of Cups over here is you being like, you know what? I just feel like it's a lot easier to say what's on my mind, good or bad. I'm letting people know. I'm letting people know when I enjoyed a situation or whatever like that. You know what? I'm not going to hold back anymore. So there's a sense of fluidity and trust within yourself. But that being said, this seems to really get set in stone and come into fruition when we have the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is almost like a trick up your sleeve, so to speak, because in the Ace of Pentacles, an opportunity is essentially being given to you. It would be a new opportunity. So this would be like a new relationship, a new job. It'd be something new oriented. And when this new opportunity presents itself, you're going to be tempted to take it. And if you do, there's nothing wrong with that, but it is in fact a test. Sometimes the universe gives us things in order to be like, are you sure you don't want this? Because maybe you said, oh, I want this dream person, and then someone else comes in your life and you're like, they're cute, I like them. I mean, they're not the exact person I want, but they're great. We have a nice connection. And the universe is going, so you will settle for this. This is what you want, right? And this is where the kind of trick up the sleeve, well, I don't like to use that term. The universe is not tricking you. The universe is giving you an opportunity to decide where you really stand and what you want with all this new profound trust in yourself and openness and able to express yourself, because it's not going to work out. This is not anything bad. It's just not the right time or place. Even if you were in a different mindset, it wasn't going to work out. It just is what it is. And it's you being able to see that, not get frustrated by it. And then this is where the wisdom really sets in after the Queen of Pentacles. Sometimes when we get in a better flow and we feel more self-confident and self-improving, it's only as long-lasting as when something kind of pushes its buttons and tests its ability to essentially be like, oh, how strong is this? How strong is this new belief system? And by you not getting upset that it doesn't work out and it just falls through is when you get the Queen of Pentacles in reverse energy. This is somebody who understands that they are still worthy. They still got something to offer. They have no doubts in their minds. They're trusting in their belief system. They're trusting in what they can manifest. But sometimes it's not the right time. So this is a great time to just sit, store your energy, and build it up. And then when it is the right time and you do make that connection or find the right job, it's like an explosion. So it's this concept where it's like, well, am I ever really unsuccessful? Because even when I'm taking time away from it, or I haven't quite gotten the right chance or opportunity that I click with, or the universe has thrown my way, then that's just an excuse to build up more fuel, so to speak, which we love. So very confident, very wise. And when I say fall through, quote unquote, it's just like you get a call and it's like, hey, that's not happening anymore. Or someone says, oh, hey, I'm so sorry. I know we just met, but I actually just got back with my ex. And you're like, oh, okay, it is what it is. Well, whatever. This is not the last one. You know what I mean? So let's look at, I wonder if this has anything to do with the person. This is your energy in your life. Okay. What do we got going on here? Oh, well, there goes my deck. Oh, okay, sorry. I was just trying to understand what was going on here. So, something kind of interesting with the energy. It's not necessarily like bad, but this is one of those read between the lines type of situation. So we have you represented over here in the Ten of Pentacles, and we have them represented over here in the King of Cups. And this is a lot energy-wise, because the Ten of Pentacles could represent for you, maybe you would like a long-term relationship, or you're thinking in the long term. It's the sense of an end goal of like, I want to get somewhere, end up there, and then stay there together. But this also can be the mindset of, it doesn't have to be necessarily around the relationship itself. It could just be you being like, okay, well, we're together, and some of the mindsets I have in the long term are really focusing on like investments and stuff like that. No, that's not how I want to put it. It's like, okay, we're in a relationship, but my goal and mindset are these big concepts that are going to benefit me, going to benefit you. I want to talk about it with you. Let's focus. Do you want to share this with me? So it can be personal that you want to include this other person. But anyways, it's this sense of long-term goals and intense commitment. And it's got a very happy, like, togetherness vibe behind it. But it is a bit of a question compared to the Ten of Cups, which is just pure bliss, love, we're together, family. This involves family too. This is more like a question of like, so do you want this too? And they aren't quite giving you a no. But the thing is, it's the way they're positioned. It's like you're having to face them, but they're not facing you back. And they're not saying completely, no, we're cutting you out. But because they're not turning around and answering you, it's one of those moments where you're like, you have to answer my question. What are you thinking? What are you vibing with? And over here, they have a King of Cups. When it's upright, it's extremely positive. It shows how emotionally wise they are. They're very intelligent. They have their stuff together, so to speak. But it can be kind of, in this case, a little worrisome of, I don't want to say manipulative, because that's just not at all the vibe I get from them. It's just that they're very skilled at knowing how to respond. They know where they want to put their attentions. If they seem like they don't know for whatever reason, or you're trying to play the nice guy in your head and you're like, well, maybe they don't know. They know. They're not trying to be malicious. That's not the vibe I get. But it's just a lot of things left in the air where it's like, what's going on here? So let's now focus on down here, the story behind that. So over here in the Strength card, this is more based on, and this could potentially be you or the tone behind the relationship, but it's too much of an importance on, we'll just say like the birds and the bees. And this could be either you want a lot of it, you want a little bit of it. There's just too much expectation built around it and what it could mean and how you want around it. But either way, something's a little bit misguided and off in this attention and perspective on it, which is then causing this kind of sort of reaction and mindset, and isn't fun to experience. So over here in the Fool card, and this is why I'm saying it's kind of interesting with the King of Cups being chosen, because I too don't get a vibe that this is like a terrible person trying to manipulate you or anything like that. But in the Fool card, when it's in reverse, it often symbolizes somebody who's doing something for instant gratification over the betterment of the couple. And that gets worrying over here and over here when we have these interactions. So the Four of Wands implies in reverse saying like, things can get better. If there's an issue, if things feel not the most structurally sound, we can fix it. There's totally hope here. And we talked about there being hope. They're not a bad person. But both of you have to actively try. They have to try just as much as you in the communication department. It can't just be you going to them, trying to talk about it, say what's happening. They have to seek you out and also say, well, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm thinking about. There has to be a mutual effort on both sides. And again, we have them here sitting. Sitting's kind of interesting. Again, it's got this unusual tone because they're not running away from you. They're not looking at anybody else. There's not an interest to go anywhere else. It's just that their focus might be on something that's more serving of them. Maybe this could be a hobby, a job. Maybe they're interested in whatever makes them happy right now. So again, it doesn't feel like it's with someone else or they're disinterested in you, but it doesn't feel like the energy is being as equivalently returned over to you the way you're giving it to them. And this is probably why this energy is popping up, because sometimes when we feel insecure or feel frustrated, we put an emphasis somewhere else. And this can often happen in the relationship of it switching over to this to somehow make an explanation of the energy going on over here. And then over here, I want to point out the Magician card in reverse. This is a combination of two things. One, it confirms that this person isn't quite who they said they were. Like, and no, let me rephrase that. In this case, it's more like what you thought you saw in them wasn't true. Maybe you saw what you wanted to see. Maybe they were having a particular good day and exhibited themselves in a certain way. So you kind of have what is called the halo effect. It's a real thing. And the halo effect is when whatever impression you have of them, this usually is a positive thing most of the time, but it can be negative too. That first time you experience them, you have kind of a set in mind who they are. And then from that point, every single time something happens or you experience something, you just always go back to that first encounter and you're like, no, they could do no wrong. They could do no wrong. It's like because of this one encounter. And this is saying whatever expectation you put on them when you first met them isn't the case now. That doesn't necessarily mean, again, I just want to keep emphasizing, there is not a vibe I'm getting here where they're a bad person or they're trying to trick you or they're just here to use you. It's nothing of that extreme note. It just, they might not be the exact person you thought they were. And the other situation going on here is when somebody isn't quite being their whole, self. And this could be in your department too. Like, do you feel like you're holding yourself back in some way and you're putting on an impression of who you'd like to come across? Maybe this goes back to them again because I'm feeling kind of more of an up in air vibe. It could go either way. And this is not a reprimanding sort of tone to the card. It's just saying, if you feel off, it's because people aren't being their whole selves. And that makes sense. That's actually a good feeling that you feel off because your internal compass is and an internal narrative is trying to be like, this feels wrong. I just want to be me. Or I just want them to be them and I want to understand that and learn to accept that and connect to that. But either way, it's this feeling of this tone when we talked about with over here in the Strength card in reverse, and skipping and leaping into being like, yeah, I know it's wrong, because the Fool card in reverse also represents when somebody is taking a risk that they are fully aware that they shouldn't be taking. So it's this feeling of like, whatever, I know I'm putting too much importance on this, who cares, this is what I'm focused on. I'm making this active decision to be with someone. I'm aware this isn't necessarily working, it's a little bit of a risk. Again, risk is a big word. Maybe you're just aware that you're like wasting your time, or you're aware you're putting your feelings in a position they don't need to go through kind of thing. But either way, it's hopping and skipping and leaping over to the Magician in reverse. So again, this is kind of an interesting situation going on because there's potential for it to work. There's a lot of good vibes despite everything I'm saying around them. They're not like, again, a bad person or a bad partner. And you're not a bad person if they're in a point in their life where they want to focus a little more on something that's going to, in the long term, make them happy. You know, maybe they're focused on their career more or something like that. That might not be ideal if you're wanting to go into a relationship that's more committed and, you know, you're going to dinners and you're with each other all the time and you're really talking and they have their focus somewhere else. That can be frustrating. But they're not going anywhere. They're hanging out. They're sitting. So there is a moment here that I really would recommend, like, bringing this up to them, talking to them, and just seeing, can we change this? This is what needs to change. Do I even want this? Is that okay? Can I wait? And then just kind of figure it out from there, essentially. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this reading, by the way. Please consider giving this video a like, comment, and subscribe, and even a share. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. I am wishing you the best, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next one. Bye!